do a different exercise for our skill check-in, but everything else pretty much the same. So we'll get warmed up to start with. So make sure that you've got plenty of space to move. Make sure your bells are out of the way. Make sure you've got some water on hand for when you need it. So we'll start off with our little 4-way upper body spine movement. So we're going to open our arms and curve, make a lovely curve in the spine here. And then we're going to bring the hands together and rounding out the back here. So this is flexion and extension of our spine. And when we move our body and our spine like this, it just helps to mobilize the rest of the joints. So a really nice way to start. So if you look at you, look here, we're going to be rocking our pelvis backwards and forwards to create that lovely flexion and extension in the spine. Really open the arms out, take your time, make it nice and flowy. We'll do 2 more here. Beautiful. And I know Elaine's still on her holidays, so we'll see Elaine again next week. Beautiful. From here, we're going to take our hands up, grab hold of the wrist, so feet are around about hip width apart, and we're going to pull ourselves over to the side. Think about pushing the hip this way, coming back up to the center, over to the other side, hip goes the other way, and then back up. We'll do that a few more times. So yeah, well done for still getting here, Caroline, if that's how you're feeling this morning. We're saying the same to everybody else, you know, even though we're kind of, you know, our main focus with these classes is to progress and get stronger each week. But sometimes we have to show up and just do what feels okay for that week. So, you know, be mindful of how you're feeling and, of course, what you've got to do for the rest of the week. Breathe in here. And then we're going to exhale, rotate all the way around. So hips are facing forward. We're looking over our shoulders at our fingertips. Bring it back into the center with a big inhale. Exhale over the shoulder. Inhale back to the center. So trying to keep the hips facing forward as much as possible so that it's that upper body that's rotating. Bring it back and over. Back to the center. And over one more time each way. Back to the center, one more on the other side. Excellent. And then we're going to come in for a reach up and roll down. We're going to walk it down into a plank if you want to. If you're not comfortable getting all the way to the floor, you can just march on the spot. But if you're coming down with me, it's a big inhale. So everybody do this bit. Everybody do this roll down bit. And if you're not coming to the floor, simply roll up and walk on the spot, march on the spot. But if you're coming down with me, we're going to go here. We're just going to pop our hands down and then walk them straight back up again. We're going to come up, reach up, roll down, walk out if you're walking out. If not, just stretch your arms back up to the ceiling and march on the spot. Walking them back in. We'll do this one more time. And I can see that Queenie's been in here because my black mat is covered in golden retriever hairs. Little monkey. Beautiful. Back we go. And in. All right. So then taking the attention now to our shoulders. Let's roll our shoulders. 3 or 4 big rolls back. Nice big circles. Excellent. And then roll them forwards. I just want to make sure. I thought Ray would be here by now. I'm going to leave my phone in case you text me. Roll them forwards. 2, 3, and 4. Excellent. And then down to our hips. So we're going to come all the way into one foot, lift the knee, open the gate, and then, from here, flip and bring it round. Go to the other side. So we go up, open the gate, flip, so we're rotating and bring it back round. And then we can just make that a nice flowing movement. I'm a bit wobbly today. Good, good. Out, round and back. So lovely little move for the hips. Good, good. And last one there. Fabulous. And then we're going to just do a few little bodyweight squats. Let's just let Ray in there. Excellent. All right. A few little bodyweight squats with a step back. So I'm going to show you from the side. Morning, Ray. So we're going to go with a few little nice, easy bodyweight squats here. 2, 3, 4, and then from here, we're going to step all the way back and reach up. Bringing it back to the centre. So fairly narrow feet for these squats, not as wide as we normally would with our goblet squats. So it doesn't matter how low down we go. This is just about moving the joints. It's not about a strength exercise. So it really doesn't matter how far we go. So we're going to go here. So fairly narrow. I'm going to bring that in a bit more narrow. 2 and 3 and 4. Step back. Reach up. Bring the feet back together. Last 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and step back. So changing feet each time. Beautiful. Shake it out. Okay. So then we're going to go with our halos and prime squats. So you want a fairly lightish bell because this is more about mobility than strength. So upside down with the bell, bringing it close to your chest to start. Then we're going to roll it around the head. Keep it really nice and close. Back to the centre. Go back the other way. Round the head. Back to the centre. Round the other way. Keep it really nice and close. And back the other way. And as you know, as with a lot of our upper body movements, this one is, we're keeping everything else still. So squeeze in, tuck in your tummy, tuck in your tailbone under, little squeeze of the glutes. Let's just go 1 more each side so that we're kind of trying to keep nice and still, just really oiling those shoulders. Now take a nice wide step out, turn the toes outwards, come down into that squat, bring the elbows inside the knees, little push out, and then a little push out there. And then again, push out one side, push out the other side, come up to standing. Ooh, feeling the effects of last week. Let's go with those halos again. Ready? Round we go. Excellent. And round we go. Beautiful. And round we go. So really lubricating, really, loosening up the shoulders, the upper part of our torso. And then we're going to go nice and wide, toes turning out, come down, elbows nice and close inside, push the knee away. Remember to try and keep your feet flat on the floor for this as well. Ooh, it's the getting up part now. Ready? Oh, goodness me. I was thinking this morning, it was so good after all that exercise last week. But yeah, a little bit difficult getting up out of those deep squats in. All right, good. So we're going to work on, so every week, we're going to do a little skill section where we'll work on all of the exercises that we do all the time. It's just like a little reminder to make sure that we're always thinking about good form. I'm just setting my thing up here. Sorry about this. Hold on. So that we're always thinking about really good form when we do all of our exercises, because when we're in the flow of a workout, you can't always really think about every single thing you're doing. So each week we do something different. Bear with me. Just want to do this here. Sorry about this. Hold on 1 second. I'm coming back. Just need to set something up here. All right, should have done that before we started, but here we are. So this week we're going to look at our swings. We're going to look at 3 different types of swings. We're going to look at 2-hand swings, single hand swings, and hand-to-hand swings. The other benefit of doing this every single week is if you're kind of fairly new to it, this is your little practice session. And also, if you've been doing it for a while and you're thinking about using heavier bells, this is a good place to practice with a heavier bell. So I'm sticking with the 12s for the practice part. So first of all, we're going to look at the position. So last week we did deadlifts, and we did lots of variations of deadlifts. And when we do our deadlifts, we start with our feet over the bell. The difference with the squat is that we go 1 foot, 2 feet, and then we make that triangle shape. So counting 2 feet back is a really good way of making sure you're at the right distance, because if you're too close, you can't hike it. If you're too far away, you're reaching too much and rounding your back. So go ahead and just check that little position here. 2 of your feet backwards and make your triangle. From here, we're going to push our hips back. So always push your fingertips into your hips. So push the hips back and then have a little look at your screen now. If you can, turn yourself to the side and just make sure that from your head down to the base of your spine, you've got this really nice, long, straight line, as straight as a back looks, if you see what I mean. So what we don't want is this. We don't want to be here and we don't want to be too much like this, okay? So it should be a nice, strong, straight back. Then we're just going to go ahead and do these swings now. So we're going to hike it through, stand to attention. And what I would love you to do at home is look at your video and see how high your swing comes. This is where we're aiming. Anywhere between here and here. Ultimately, you want to get your belt up here. We actually don't want it to go higher than that. We want it to stay here. And we stop that with the squeezing the glutes and squeezing your tummy. So let's go for 10 swings together. And then I'm going to watch, okay? So hinge the hips, hands on the bell. Before you swing, tip it backwards and off we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Through the legs and back down. I've got that blooming hairstyle where every swing it whips me in the face like that. Stings my eyes. I had to shut my eyes. All right, take a little breather, and then I'd love you all to do, if all of you could, if it's all right to stand to the side for me, if that's possible, and go ahead and do 10 swings for me, so I can just have a little look. Whenever you're ready, off you go. Really good. Perfect. Yeah. Really, really good. Oh, yes. Excellent swinging. Excellent, excellent swinging. Really, really good. Okay. So we're going to look at our single swings. The only difference with the single swings is we only use one hand. And when we use one hand, and I'll just remind you of all this, you'll probably remember us talking about it. When we use 2 hands, we're equal here. When we use one hand, what can happen is we can be pulled towards the bell. So then you get this rotation in the upper body. So a single swing can be categorized as an anti-rotation exercise, and Ray will know all about anti-rotation. So basically what that means is you use your core muscles, mostly these ones here, to stop yourself rotating. So as the bell pulls you forward, these muscles here lock down to stop you doing this. And one of the best ways to help you do that is to tap the back of the bell. So when we learn, we tap the back of the bell because that keeps us in line. But as you get better and as you progress and as you advance into intermediate to advanced, you want to take that out and you want to just use your core. So instead of tapping, we want to go here. So this is pulling down on the obliques, okay? So here, I really need to sort my hair out. So if you are still new and still practicing, definitely still tap your hand. If you've been doing it for some time, I would love you to take that hand away and just lock it down by your side. So let me show you what that looks like. I'm going to show you from the front. So from here, we go. Then swap to the other side. And what that does is that helps you get heavier and heavier with your bell. So let me have a look at you doing that, girls. You choose, by the way, you can still tap the back of your hand if you want to. You can face me now, or you can choose to have a go at that one. Let's have a look. And go for like 5 on each side. Excellent, Claire. Well done. Yeah, nice. Really good. Excellent. Nice, Caroline. Yeah, good. So Ray, you can let the hand go back as you swing and bring it back up. So it goes back, back, like this. That's it. Yeah, you got it. That's it. Good. Fabulous. All right. And then the final one in our swing our swing set is our hand-to-hand swings. So here the hands are moving all the time. They're grabbing, 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 grabbing. So really, we don't need to think about anything with our shoulders here because the hands are constantly here, swapping hands. So our shoulders are going to stay nice and aligned. So everything's the same. Find your triangle position and the hand to hand, you swap every time. Now, if you look, I don't know if you can see from here, I'm going to just go to the side. My handles rotate at the top. So that's how I make space for my hand. I'm going to show you with Keith, so I can do it really slowly. So if this hand is here, when I come up, if I try to take it from here, this hand's in the way and that becomes really awkward and you risk dropping it. So what you do is you turn that up and grab it like that. So look, hand down, so I go through and then I rotate it, grab it, rotate it and grab it. So that you are grabbing either side. Does that make sense? Like this, basically. Have a little go for me and let me see how that looks. That's it, yeah, you got it. Nice. Perfect. I think it naturally happens, the rotation, without you even thinking about it. I think it naturally happens, so that's all good. Wonderful. All right, perfect. Nice, and then just settle that belt down. And we're now going to go into our, what we're doing first. We're doing our strength first and our conditioning second. So we have squats, presses, swings and rows. So you've got all the basic movements there. You've got a swing, a squat, sorry, a hinge, a squat, a push and a pull. So it's a really lovely little combo. Everybody here is fine with the main exercises, but for anyone on catch up, I'll tell you something that you can do in place if you're not squatting or swinging or whatever. So we are going to do between 5 and 8 squats, okay? So normally we only do 5, but what we're doing here is we're going to take our normal squat bell and we're going to try to increase the number of reps we do bit by bit, okay? So you eventually want to be able to do 8 with your normal squat bell, okay? So let's pick the bell up and bring it into the clean position. So we're going to through the legs and hold it here. And then I'd love you just to keep going with your squats. So we're going to come down, a little pause and up. So go to 5 with the bell that you've chosen. If it feels like you can safely carry on past 5, then you're going to try and get to 8, okay? So I'm going to go 3 more. 2 more. Last one. Okay, so the idea is throughout these next few weeks that if that feels like, if that's your normal bell and you can quite, like last week and this week, you got to 8, you want to start thinking about trying a new heavier bell for that, okay? Strict presses. So when we say strict, I mean no push pressing. Perfect presses straight from here, only the arm, okay? So again, we're looking for 5 to 8 of them, okay? But if you feel like you need to push press, then don't push press in these ones. Only strict press, and you will keep training with that bell until you can perfectly strict press 8 of them, okay? Hope this all makes sense. So we're going to go for strict presses on both sides. So make sure your wrist is really nice and strong, tummy tight, squeeze your glutes, and off we go. So again, we're going to get to 5. So this is 5, and then I'm asking myself, can I go more? Now they're going to start getting slower, okay? And that's okay. Like this. And that's 8, okay? If you're kind of intermediate to advanced, you're going to swing change. If you're newer to this, hand over, swap it over to the other side, settle your bell up. Nice straight wrist. Let's go for 5 to 8 on this side. I'm going on my left hand second, so we'll see. 2, 3, good. 4, 5, 6, 7. Crushing this hand into a fist helps. And 8. Beautiful. And then gently put that bell down. Excellent. All right, shake it out. We're going to go for swings now. So you will likely use a heavier bell than your press bell if you have those available. And for this, I'd love you to use your heaviest bell that you've got. So we're going to use the heaviest one that we can. I'm not. That's 32 kilos. Not quite there yet. So you're going to use the heaviest bell that you can. And you can start with just 8 swings, okay? If that feels like really, really challenging, start with 8, work your way up to 12 over the next few weeks. If you're brand new and not comfortable with swings yet, do deadlifts here instead, okay? So I'm going to get the 20 kilo out for the first time since the summer, and between 8 and 12 swings, guys, okay? Ready? Here we go. And okay. Yeah, so 12 is fine on the 20 for me, so I should probably go a little bit heavier. And then we're going to do our staggered stance supported rows, okay? So swing bells out of the way. If you've used one of your heaviest ones, we're going to bring probably like your press bell, same weight as your press bell. So staggered stance rows is between 8 and 12 again. So we have the bell in, say this is my left hand, then my left foot goes back, and then I'm going to hinge, keeping my back really nice and straight again. Hand on your thigh, up we go. 1, and again it's between 8 and 12. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ooh, I think I'm only just about going to get to 12 with this. 11 and 12. Perfect. And then swap sides. I'm going to come from the front here as well this time. So step back. When you get to here as well, we might be a little bit shrugged. Pull your shoulders back. Off we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Oh, goodness me. Woo-wee. Grab yourself a little drink. All right, let's have a little rest there. Okay, so we're going to do that another couple of times. Then we're going to move on to our conditioning. So I was saying this to the girls in the face-to-face class this morning. It's a little bit complicated. Everything I'm saying, I'm giving you lots of different options. I'm giving you different rep ranges. So you, in a lot of ways, have to choose what you're doing. And you've got to make sure that you are challenging yourself enough. So if I give you a rep range of 8 to 12, that's up to you to make sure you're doing the best you can do. So I know it's slightly more complicated, but I don't want to be doing just basics of 10s of everything, because I want you to think about progress. I want you to think about how you can get heavier, okay? So those rep ranges are for you to move through to get stronger and heavier. And that's how you see how much stronger you're getting. So we're going to go around again. We're going to go to our goblet squats. This time, a lot less rest in between, a lot less talking. We're going to go straight in and do it. So I probably shouldn't be doing my squats with a 12 kilo. I'm going to go with my heavy one and maybe just do 5. So let's grab our squat bells up into position, anywhere between 5 and 8. Ready? Off we go. I'm going to go one more here. You can see me kind of slowing down at that last one. That's telling me that's a good spot to stop. Next week, I'm going to try and do 6 instead of 5, okay? So into our presses, strict presses between 5 and 8. I'm going to stick with the 12 this week. Go 14s next week. Right, so between 8 and 12 on your presses, off we go. Sorry, not 8 and 12, 5 and 8. I'm so sorry. This is between 5 and 8. Good job I rescued that then, didn't it? Everyone will be like, what? So that's 5. That's our normal number. What we're trying to do is go further with our normal bell. 6, 7, no push pressing. 8, perfect. Onto the other side. Off we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 more for me. 6, 7, and 8. Excellent. All right. So the fact that I can do 2 sets in a row of 8 means that next week I should absolutely go heavier. So I've gone heavier on my squats and swings today. So I'm going to maybe move up on my presses and rows next week. We'll see. Swings. Between 8 and 12 swings. Shake it out in between. We get a little rest and a drink after our rows now, okay? So, heaviest bell that you're happy to use today. And again, remember what I said. If you do come to these feeling fatigued, feeling a little bit achy, when I'm saying heavy, just do what you want, okay? The instruction to go heavier and push yourself is when you're feeling ready for it. So let's go for our swings. Here we go. Beautiful. Excellent. Good, good, good. Then our staggered stance rows. I think I might not quite get to 12 on these. I'm not sure. We'll see. They felt quite challenging last time. I'm going to do them from the front so you can see. So you're grabbing the bell in one hand. You step back. One hand on your thigh. Push your hips back. Off we go. See how the body stays still? Hand goes up to the ribs. 8, 9. I'm going to stop at 10 because I'm getting jerky now. So to push past 10 would make those last 2 not very good form. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good, good. All right, grab yourselves a drink. So if I tell you how I'm assessing my bells, you can see what I'm talking about. So 20 kilo, never mind what the number is. Don't worry about what the number is. You've got to think what your version of mine is. So my heavy bell's 20. So if your heavy bell is 12, that's what I'm talking about. So on my squats, I'm still at 5. I'm not quite up to 8 yet. So I'm going to continue with that next week. My presses, I could, not going to say easily, but I could get to 8 on both. So next week, I'm going to go 14. My swings, I could do 2 sets up to 12 on the 20 kilo. So really, I should go heavier next week. And my rows, the second set, I couldn't get to 12. So I'm going to stay with that one for a few weeks until I can do 3 sets of 12. I hope that makes it clear how we use our rep ranges, okay? Okay. I know it's so much easier just to tell you to do 5 and 10, But I want you to get stronger. I want you to push yourselves, and I want you to know how it feels. And like I always say to the girls in the face-to-face class, you have to get comfortable with failure in order to get stronger. So feeling discomfort in the fact that you missed a rep because you couldn't quite do it means you are progressing. It means you're pushing your boundaries. That's a good feeling. Make friends with that feeling. If you always want to get the exact number of reps every time, it's not progress. Okay. We're going to do one more round, and then we're going to do a little bit of a conditioning set at the end of it, which is a little bit cruel because we're really pushing ourselves here, but that's what we're going to do. So squats one more time between 5 and 8. Really thinking about, did you get to 5 or 6 or 8? And what's that going to mean for you next week, okay? So let's go with our squats then. And off we go. Literally can't talk when I'm doing this. I'm going to go for one more. Going to make it 8 on that last one. Ooh, excellent. So yeah, I got 8 on the last one, only 5 on the first 2. So I'm going to stick with that one for next week. Overhead presses. I'm expecting myself to get 8 on each side with my 12 kilo, which means I go heavier next week. But if you're only not 12, God, I keep saying 12, 8, 5 to 8 on your presses, sorry. Here we go with the presses. So if you can only do 5 or 6, you stay with that bell next week until you can get to 8. That's 5. I'm going to go 3 more. But we're not push pressing here. We're not giving ourselves any little pop-ups. We're not helping ourselves at all. It's all strict. You see, that one was slow, which means I've really close to or reached, you know, pretty much my maximum. So here we go. This one always feels better because I start with my strongest arm second. Notice I didn't say I stopped myself then. Never say my weak side. Always say my strong side or my less strong side. We've got to keep that word strong in our minds, even if we're talking about something that doesn't feel strong. Don't say that feels weak. Say that doesn't feel so strong right now. And I'm not counting. I think that's 8, but because I'm not paying attention, I'm doing a cheeky extra one. Oh, okay. Swings. So with our swings now, between 8 and 12. This is between 8 and 12. Now, for me, again, talking you through this so that you can see how I decide. The last 2 sets I did 12. I'm feeling very worn out from this now, and I'm going to be cautious. When I hit 8, I'm going to see how I feel, because I think the last 2 on the last set were really hard. So let's see. Off we go. Between 8 and 12. You decide what you're doing. Here we go. And so that's 8, 9. I'm going to stop at 10. Stopping at 10. So next week I will probably do 1 round with that and then consider going heavier afterwards. Last one on our rows, girls, okay? When you're swapping belts around, make sure you're getting them properly out of the way. So last one on our rows. I don't want to do this because it's so hard. That's what's in your head coming out of your mouth. Sometimes it's in there, let's get it out. I don't want to do it, but that means I'm getting stronger because I'm pushing myself. Hips back, hands on, let's go. Let's push through this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, Got to push for these 2, 9, and 10. Oh, wow. Okay, definitely staying with the 12s for next week. So I'm going to match that for 10 on this, which is my stronger side. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Beautiful. All right. Grab yourselves a drink. Let's see how long we've got. All right, we've just got a couple of minutes left again. Okay. Come like week 3 and 4, I won't need to do such full explanations for you, and we'll have a bit longer on the conditioning, which you may or may not like. I don't know. Grab yourselves a drink. Little sips. Okay, for our conditioning section, we are going to do a high number of reps and sets. So we're going to do swings. We're going to do squats. Yes, it's swings and squats. Swings and squats. So you can choose to do 2-hand swings or single swings. It's entirely up to you. If you're going to do 2-hand swings, you do 10 swings. If you're going to do singles, you do 5 and 5. If you are new and this is new to you, only do 5 swings, okay? Then we're going to put the bell down, very quickly pick it up again and go for squats. And again, those of you that have been doing this a long time, we're going to do 5. If you're a little bit newer, you're going to do 3. Okay, so we're going to keep going until I say stop. We have very little rest in between each one. So don't go with your heaviest bells for this. You need a bell that gives you a little bit left in the tank, okay? So 10 swings, bell down, 5 squats, bell down. Short breaks, we're going to keep going for a few minutes. If you want to skip a set, by all means skip a set. This is meant to raise your heart rate, get you sweaty, finish off feeling like we've really worked today. Ready? 10 swings, off we go. And that's 10. Bell down, shake it out, really nice and quick. Bell up for squats. And off we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Bell down. Very little rest, shake it out. Ready? 10 swings, off we go. And bell down, shake it out. Get ready for the squats. 5 is your goal. 3 is perfectly fine if that's what you need to do. Let's go. Wowee. One more set. Stay with me. Shake it out. 10 swings, 5 squats. Ready. Here we go. And that's 10. Bell down. Shake it out. Last one. Ready? 5 squats. Let's go. And 5. And 4. And 3. And 2. Last one. Woo. Bells down. Beautiful. Have a little breather. Oh dear. Grab yourselves a drink. We're going to go in for a nice little cool down. Okay. Get your breath back. Breathe in. And then big breath out. Breathe in. And then Beautiful. Grab yourself a drink. Okay, wowee, that was full on. So, last week, having not done a lot, I took it really nice and easy. And then this week, back to some nice heavy bells. So it just shows you the body remembers when you've been doing it for years and years. Let's take some long deep breaths. We're going to inhale. You know, you only go backwards for a little while. And the key to maintaining that level of fitness and that ability to jump back in, reach up, we're going to go over to the side. The key to that is consistency. And it's very boring. There's nothing sexy about it, but that is the key. Consistently exercising, even when you can't do what you normally do. And this is the hardest bit. If you love your workouts and you love the really hard, you know, the energy you get and how out of breath and how hot you get, if you love that, when you're injured or when you're tired, the real challenge is to really dial it back. Really, really, really dial it back and really give your body that chance to catch back up with you. You know, that's the trick. I'm going to go this side as well. So giving your body that chance to catch up and not rushing it. Don't rush. But work out consistently. So even if that means if you normally squat with an 8 or a 10 or a 12, let's step back here. And you have to do body weight squats whilst you recover from whatever it is that's happened, whether it's just a big break or tiredness or injury or a stressful situation in your life. Just keep moving your body. That's the key. And now I'll get off my pedestal and finish off this lovely little stretch. So let's add in a little hammy stretch here as well then. So from here, put your foot down flat, pull the toe up at the front, and now push your hips back until you feel a stretch here. Just stay in that for a second and then sweep up. Beautiful. We'll step back here, flat foot, toe up at the front, hinge the hips back until you feel the stretch there. Reach and up. Let's do, oh, I've got itchy nose again. Let's do our quad stretch here. So knees together, push through your hips, push your foot down into your hand if you need more. If you can't reach all the way around to get your hand, rest your foot on a chair, on a sofa, on your puffy stool or something like that. And then you'll start to get the same kind of stretch. Knees together, push through, foot goes down. Beautiful. Woo. Excellent. Shake it out. We're all done. Excellent job. Gosh, look at me. I look like Bushwhacker Bob's daughter now.